Alright. So we're looking at Kozak here. So going for the gate expand. Pretty early scout out of the Terran as well, but you can't really read anything into that. I see no problem so far, even going for the expansion before the Cyber. Getting a constant scout, getting all the information so far, I like it. And you even scout he's not going for reactor first, which means he is going to be going for that Reaper more than likely. But you're already on top of it, making the Adept. Mothership Core and Warp Gate. Everything is on point so far. Losing one drone, one probe rather. That's fine. Now, I want to see your tech choice. Your robo was about 15 seconds later than it could have been. That could spiral. 15 seconds now could mean you're behind at like 10 more army supply later on. But as soon as you have the gas and the minerals you want to put down in that tech building, you had about 400, 500 minerals and about 170 gas before you put it down, which isn't that bad, but every second counts. So just think about that. Make sure you get your tech down. Also, I want to talk about this pylon placement. It's usually better to have a pylon over here because imagine a Liberator or a Widowmine drop comes in right here. What happens then? I hope you get Widowmine drop. Wait, is he going to do a Widowmine drop? Maybe. But yeah, a Widowmine drop comes in here, and now what do you have to defend? Especially on a map like this. You gotta think about that. Where you put your shit is important. And now this pylon, what is it doing for you? You gotta think about every single pylon. Once again, 2 pylons in this area is doing very little for you, especially in the early game when pylons are incredibly important. Once you go on, you're gonna have pylons everywhere, alright? Pylons everywhere. But... what? The fuck was this? The fuck was this? Did you just, like, panic hit the button? What is this overcharge? The derp charge. It looks pretty, though, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't know what that was, but that's probably going to come back to screw you. I do like the choice of the cannon. That does help you with some defense, but still against things like Liberators, you're going to have trouble. Also, okay, you're getting the gates up. Probably a little bit late on the gas than natural, but that's actually fine here. Now, by this point, you're having kind of the same issue Cooney player had. You're not able to spend your money. You didn't get your gateways up in time. I think, yeah, you got your gateways right around 420. I would say you're adding on these gateways by 4 minutes. Would be a better timing. And, of course, you have 400 gas in the bank, and with only 1 gateway, you need to be spending it on either a Twilight Council upgrade. Just, you have these resources and you can't spend them, and that's really bad, just in general. Especially when it comes to dealing with a thing like a Widowmine drop, which... what?! Wait, how does he have 11 kills? Did that first Widowmine just slam the point home here? It looks like the Reaper's actually gotten 4 kills, but the suicide mines. Oof. Yeah, that hurts. That hurts. I mean, the Mothership Core should already have been... the Mothership Core at this stage in the game, between like 4.5 and 7 minutes or so, the Mothership Core should just be campy in the main, because the only real threats are not going to come from the front unless you see a direct attack. Because you see a direct attack, they're going to come from drops at the back. Or Liberators, stuff like that. So the Mothership Core should be definitely near this side here. This is an okay place to put the observer. Now, you don't actually have... The thing is, you don't want your first observer to be defensive. Your first observer should be on the other side of the map where he might be moving out or dropping or something like that. This isn't even a full wall. This is just the idea of a wall. But pretty much right where that medevac flew over, the observer being, like, right here, you want at least the 2 observers. You're not even using the robo, so... But on the bright side, I think you do... Yeah, you do pretty easily scout this coming out, so... And definitely, what do you have, 5 gates? You can already tell, not quite enough gates to spend your money. I don't know about the Stargate choice. There is no reason here. I see no reason to have gone Stargate instead of Twilight Council. No reason. Because what is a Stargate? The Stargate was a knee-jerk response, I expect, to taking so much damage to the Widow Mine drop. But... there's no reason for there to be a Stargate, as compared to a Twilight. Let's think about it. Adept Glaives versus Phoenixes. At this point, you're not going to build up enough Phoenixes to actually be useful against his army. You can't really harass with them at the 7-minute mark after everything that's already happened. If you're going to go for Stargate, pretty much you got to go Stargate first, or much later on when you're going towards Tempest. But... Twilight Council is a much better choice. Even a Robo Bay is a better choice. Because what I think is going to happen, I'm going to predict you get run over. Now, if you die to Liberators, even though you have Phoenixes, I'm going to look like an idiot. But I think you get run over by a little bit too big of an army later on here. Because the lack of Storm, there's just not going to be splash damage. No Robo Bay, no Twilight Council, no Templar Archives means no splash damage, and that means you're not going to have the army to deal with the Terran army later on. Oh, he even went for the double Stargate here. Do you actually know this? You do not. Okay. Also, the worker count. As a Protoss player, well, you did take some damage early on, so never mind. The worker count isn't necessarily that bad. But just Phoenixes are never going to defend you against a bio army. There's the Robo Bay. The Robo Bay, not a terrible choice, but Twilight Council makes more sense alongside. Because it's not easy. Like, Phoenixes and Disruptors both require some pretty intense micro. Like, you can't just A-move Phoenixes and Disruptors and expect to get that much value out of them. So what I think is going to happen is you're going to have some Phoenixes, you're going to have some Disruptors, and they're all going to die before doing anything really effective. I would recommend, for that reason, going for the Twilight first as well. But you do get the Templar Archives. There's just not enough on the ground here. A couple Phoenixes, not really going to do anything against this many Liberators. Pretty much you need Storm and Blink Stalkers in the leg. But yeah, the Phoenixes just die. Couple Disruptor hits, and then Freedom! And now all this kind of comes down to the choice to go for a Stargate instead of a Twilight Council. There was just no chance of you dealing with this army. Now he's just kind of giving you too much space, but I like the build he did with the double Stargate as well. But there you go. I think most of what happened at the end of this game boiled down to, instead of a Twilight and upgrades, getting a Stargate and almost nothing else. You had too many cute units and not enough bulk in the army, so... But yeah, Storm, Blink Stalkers, getting under those Liberators before they can siege. You also didn't... If you're going to make a Stargate as well, if you're going to make a Stargate, you got to get an Oracle. The Oracle is not for killing SCVs, it's for Revelation. Keeping track of an army like this is incredibly important, because if those Liberators siege up and they're able to rain freedom down in a perfect position, you've already lost the game. So having constant track of that army with Revelation, not observers, but with Revelation, would be the best usage of that Stargate.